With funeral costs rising far in excess of the annual rate of inflation, it's an unfortunate fact that, for many families, budgeting for a funeral by traditional means may no longer be sufficient to cover the cost.
Recently, I saw a news story concerning the rising costs of funerals. They're expected to double over the next 10 years. To my amazement, I heard that a funeral today will cost around £5,000 or more. That really got me thinking. I'm only 55 and don't plan on passing away anytime soon. However, if a funeral costs £10,000 in 10 years, when I finally do pass away, how much will my family have to find? Could it be 15,000, maybe 20? Who knows? And that is the most worrying part for me. I was discussing this with a friend of mine who recently lost her husband. She managed to cover all the funeral costs using her savings, but she admitted she was shocked at the expense and would have wished that she had been better prepared. She went on to say that as her husband died suddenly, not to mention relatively young, they'd never really discussed their funeral arrangements, leaving everything then to the last minute, making that painful and distressing time even worse. After that sad experience, she wanted to be sure that her family would not go through the same thing when she dies. She told me she'd taken out something called a prepaid funeral plan with a company called Safe Hands. I went online and compared a number of different funeral plans. Safe Hands stood out as the most affordable. But as cost wasn't my only consideration, I decided to give them a call. The agent I spoke to was very sensitive to my needs and very knowledgeable. He went to great lengths to explain how the plan works and how in fact there are 3 plans from which I can choose and what was included in each. He explained how the money I paid in would be securely invested. He provided me with full details of the Safe Hands Funeral Trust, their legal team, and even the credentials of their panel of trustees. Safe Hands guarantee that there will always be enough funds in my plan to cover all the necessary costs for my funeral. It didn't take long for me to realise that Safe Hands must be my first choice. One of their friendly advisors came to my home, where I asked a few questions and we finalised the paperwork. Thanks to Safe Hands, I don't have to worry anymore about rising costs. I can get on with my life, safe in the knowledge that when the time comes, my funeral arrangements are taken care of and my family have been relieved of a huge financial burden.
If you'd like more information on the Safe Hands range of prepaid funeral plans, contact us today on 01977 703 431 or visit our website at www.safehandsplans.co.uk. Safe Hands is the only funeral plan provider officially endorsed by the National Federation of Funeral Directors.